I'm on. I'm on. Hi, everyone. I'm on. All right. I'm at my publicist's office. Apparently, I needed an Ethernet cord that I didn't have in my house. So I tried to do this in my living room. It's kind of the goal to make this feel casual, but I'm stuffed in an office now. It's okay. We'll have a good time. All right. How do we do this? How do we start? How do we get the first question? Oh, I'm glad everyone's here. Anyone who came, it's welcome. Welcome. Glad to have you. All right. Do this. All right, guys. So excited. What was your favorite movie to act in? What was my favorite movie to act in? It's a tough question. Let's make it this. Let's make it not what was the most rewarding or what was, the ultimately most satisfying movie. Just my favorite, just to act in. And I may say the first Fantastic Four, just because it was one of the first times I had done a movie on that scale. So there was a lot of new things I was learning. I was learning so much just about big budget movies and special effects, and I got to be a superhero, which was fun, and the cast was great. And it was just the first time it felt like a real big production. It kind of felt like summer camp. So it was a lot of fun. I loved playing that character. I'll say Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, next one. Which co-star would you love to work with again? God, that's such a tough question. Let's not base it on acting ability, because that's impossible. I've just worked with too many good, phenomenal actors, and it's a blessing to share the screen with them. Let's go just based on personality and who I got along with, which I guess is probably just as damning. I'm gonna say Ioan Gruffudd, the guy actually who played Mr. Fantastic. He's hilarious. I've never worked with someone he's a big kid. He really is like a 9-year-old. But he's very positive. He's very sharp, very funny. And we have very similar senses of humor. So it was like a game every day. He's so much fun. And I did get to work with him. I worked with him last year in a movie called The Many Splintered Thing. He had a small role, but I got a couple days on set with him. He laughed the whole time. So I'll say Ioan. Okay, next. This is great. Who's your favorite leading lady? These are tough questions. Who's my favorite leading lady? Man. God, that's so hard. Because again, I've worked with so many phenomenal leading ladies. That's actually kind of what I've really had the good fortune of having a lot of. It's kind of an embarrassment of riches. I've had a lot of really phenomenal female co-stars. I think the one that was just the most impressive and just consistent and just an amazing human being, I'll say Bryce Dallas Howard. She was just phenomenal. The movie we did together, which about 9 people saw, she just it's a shame that not enough people saw it, because she is special in that movie, and she's just a phenomenal human being. The camera just loves her. I'll say Bryce. Sorry, other lady. How do you stay true to yourself without letting being famous get to your head? I go home a lot. I go back to Boston a lot. For me, it's a good question, because LA is a tricky place to be. It's not just fame. That's the thing. It's not just fame is tricky, but this industry is tricky. Whether you're famous or not, you're dealing in a business of rejection and competition and comparison. You live in your own head quite a bit, which it's not a good place for anyone to be for an extended period of time. Your ego is nurtured, which you don't want. Going back to Massachusetts for me, which is a very cliche answer, but it's true. Going back home, I don't know, you just kind of remember your youth. You're surrounded by friends and family, people who don't care what you do for a living, and don't care if you're successful in this industry or not. And your priorities shift, and all of a sudden the things that matter just kind of come back to life. So I'll say going back home to Boston. How's that? Okay. If one day you choose to stop acting, which career would you most be? Which career would be most interesting to you? Well, let's see. I'll stay in the industry first. I really want to direct, and I'm really excited about being able to direct. I've always wanted to do it. Um, Not only does it kind of fit my personal preference of lifestyle choices as far as being a little more out of the spotlight, but I just feel like that's what I love. I love acting. But what I really love is movies. I love movies. I love film and storytelling. I love the way a movie can just touch you. Movies can really affect people in ways not many things can. And I would love to be quarterback, the captain, kind of making those choices and stringing those scenes together. So for me, if it was in the industry, it'd be directing. If it wasn't in this industry, it would probably be something in the world of art. That's what I was going to do before I started acting. I was big into painting and drawing, and I really liked Disney. I liked animation. When I was younger, I remember when Beauty and the Beast, this is awful, when Beauty and the Beast had that first shot where they were first started incorporating computers into the animation, and I was like, this is just such a cool thing that's happening here. I kind of want to be a part of it, and I really like doing Pixar things. I loved going to, my father and I would go to like those little Harvard Square showings of early Pixar shorts, and it was so cool. So I think maybe if I wasn't in acting or directing, I'd probably do something in animation. What else? I heard that you were soon making your directorial debut, and so I thought I would ask, as an actor, what do you look for in a director? As a director, what do you look for in an actor? Really good question. God, this is so tricky. This is the truth is, as a director, I probably wouldn't look for me. I wouldn't. I think there are some actors that really like to know what the camera's doing. They want to know, the lens you're on and where you're going to cut and where the music's coming in. They're going to cut their cloth according to what the camera's doing. This isn't theater. You are funneling your performance through lenses and sizes, and if you're on a 150, you can turn your choices down a little bit. And if it's a big wide shot, you can be a little bit more broad. So some actors like knowing that information. Other actors are truly just vessels for truth, and they're just putty, and they just want to tell the truth and be honest and be present and be real. I think I'm more the former, unfortunately. I think I'm a little too in my own head, and I kind of like knowing what the camera's doing. So as an actor, I like directors that are willing to share that information. I've had some directors that don't want to tell you. They really just want to be like, no, just you, be in your own head, be in your zone, and you let me worry about the camera. I like having the information. I kind of like knowing things. As a director, I would rather my actor not want to know it. I want an actor who's just, putty. I want to be able to just kind of massage my actor's brain and get them where they need to get emotionally, mentally, and then it's my job to capture it. So the less they ask about the technical side of what we're doing, the better. So basically, I would never hire me. All right, what next? Is there any actor or actress that you admire and go see them in any movie? If so, who is it? And good question. I really like Sam Rockwell. I think Sam Rockwell is just doesn't know how to be bad. It's just phenomenal. Who else do I really like? I grew up really liking Gene Hackman. I really like Jeff Bridges. I really like Ed Harris. Downey. Downey's phenomenal. Who else? I really like Carey Mulligan. She's really good. Really present. I really like Felicity Jones. Who else? I mean, you can say Meryl Streep, but that's just like a given. It just goes without saying. I think that's enough. The list could go on and on. It's really good. What else? What's your favorite part of being the Captain America? Favorite part. Well, I think, the best part about being a part of the Marvel world is that it allows you to do other things, If I hadn't taken Captain America, I don't think I'd be able to direct. Doing those big movies with big profile properties and movies that get seen and make a lot of money. In turn, you're afforded an opportunity to go do passion projects. But that's not a very fun answer. What's the best part about being Captain America? I really like playing a good superhero. A lot of superheroes, not that they're bad superheroes, but a lot of superheroes are tortured souls and they have demons that they're fighting. Cap's just a really good guy. Aside from being a superhero and having powers, he's just a really good man. And any role that you play, if you're in a headspace for an extended period of time, every day you come to set, you have to think a certain way and try and get inside of a character. And sometimes I play dark characters or frustrated characters. It's negative because you're trying to tap into the parts of you that can connect to that, the parts of you in your own personal history and experience that can identify and relate. You have to find pieces of you that are in common. So playing Cap, just on a daily basis, or trying to tap into the best part of yourself, and it's like inspiring. You want to do better. You want to be good. It's a very healthy headspace to be in. So I think it's rewarding playing someone with such a good heart. Yeah. What kind of role haven't you played yet? You wish someone to give you or write for you? That's a good question too. This is great. I really like characters with the gift of the gab. I like characters who have a command of the English language. I like characters who are wildly intelligent, who can speak effortlessly and fast. Whether it's a politician. It was kind of like in Puncture. The reason I love Puncture is because even though he was flawed and had his demons, he was really intelligent and he was sharp. And I love clever repartee, and I love just heightened intellect when it comes to characters. And any character, whether it's a lawyer or a doctor or a politician or anyone that just really has an extended vocabulary and a really keen intellect. So that's usually I play idiots. I don't know why. Yeah, just someone really sharp. Okay, next. Do you have a quote, song lyric, or saying that inspires you? Yeah, inspires me. I have a, how personal are we going to go? I have a tattoo, and I really like Eckhart Tolle. He wrote The Power of Now. I'm a big fan of Buddhism, Eastern philosophy, and the notion of trying to be present and drop into the moment, and turning your third eye off, and detaching from ego. And he has a quote from a book called Stillness Speaks that I just thought really resonated, enough so to permanently ink my body. And it says, when you lose touch with inner stillness, you lose touch with yourself. When you lose touch with yourself, you lose yourself in the world. And it just made so much sense to me. Still does. Always will. Hope it always. But that's something that just always kind of brings me back to center. Wow. Just letting it all out on this thing. This is dangerous. Where's your favorite place in the world? That's easy. Well, I was going to say Sudbury, Massachusetts, but just Massachusetts, really. Boston in general. Or all eastern Mass. Middlesex County. Let's just say that. I like Massachusetts, Concord, Sudbury, Boston. Everywhere in eastern Mass, really. It's just it's where I grew up. It's where I just feel the most present. I love the trees, I love the smells, I love the sounds, seasons, people. I love it. What's next? I heard that you love to sing. I heard that you loved to sing, even when you were a child. Why didn't you pursue the musical life? Because I did a lot of musicals growing up, and it's fun doing plays, and but I always was more excited about the recreation of real life. Musicals are fun and they're nice, but they're in no way a reflection of life or authenticity. For me, the more I kind of started doing straight plays in my youth, I started realizing how much fun it would be to really go even smaller. You know, even in theater, you got it relatively big, and that's why film became so appealing. Like, man, I wonder how real can you get this? And as a result, I just kind of got addicted to kind of manufacturing artificial life and recreating true moments that people can really connect to. Musical theater is like it's like a ride. It's like an escape, but it's not exactly something where you can leave and say, man, I'm going through that exact same thing. You know, it's just not that way. That's why, I suppose. What's next? If you could be in any Broadway musical, what would it be and what role would you play? These are great questions. These are great questions. All right, what would I be? What would I play? Okay, let's go down some of the favorite musicals. I really like Into the Woods. I played Jack when I was maybe 15. I love that play. I love that role. I really like Sweeney Todd. I'm a little too old for Tobias at this point. I really like Pippin. Songs are tough to sing though. I think those are the three. You could say Les Mis playing Marius or something, but that's typical. I don't want to go that down the minute. Okay, that's embarrassing. What's next? What is your current read? It's a book called The Honeymoon Effect. There's an author named Bruce Lipton who wrote a book called The Biology of Belief, and it's a really clever book. It's about how, you know, for the longest time scientists thought that your genetics your DNA was determined by your genetics, and how this one guy who's now studying that your DNA can actually be affected by your thought. You know, your emotions, your daily choice, how you interact with the world through your thinking can actually change your chemistry. But this guy wrote a book called The Honeymoon Effect. And it's just about, I mean, I'm only 2 chapters in, but it's just about how we try and sustain healthy relationships in our life, not just with men and women, but just all the relationships, all of our interactions in life, and how to sustain the healthiest approach, I suppose. I don't know, it's early days with the book, but I love his writing. What's next? What causes are you passionate about? It's so funny, I was just talking about this today. Because I read something online about bear bile farming. You heard about this? Bear bile farming. They literally farm, they stick tubes in these bears and they extract bile in China. And just the details of it are really gory and really awful. And it was so tragic and sad. And I was thinking, well, how can I get behind this? And, you know, your first thought is like, well, I eat meat. You know what I mean? I wear like a leather belt. There's probably a million things that are going on in my life that are, there's probably a lot of suffering that I'm indulging in without knowing it. So to all of a sudden, like, take this cause on. Now, it's no reason to not do it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like something you look in the mirror and say, well, I am temporarily hypocritical in that sense. But I always find that things that stir me the most are cruelty to animals for some reason. Which, you know, again, it's hypocritical because I eat meat. I do. But for some reason, animals just get me. There's a purity. There's an innocence. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's the stuff that really makes me feel like I want to get out and do stuff. How old is East? I love him. Cutest puppy in the world. Tough stuff, man. East passed away 3 months ago. He was old. He was a trooper, man. That dog had been through everything. That dog, we literally kept our vet in business with this dog. And he had a long run and had some sicknesses and some brain issues, and you know, lose time. And so about 3 months ago, that was it. But thank you for asking. Out of all the characters you've played, which one can you relate to the most? Oh, man. Well, this is so tough. because you can't say Captain America, 'cause that's just, Captain America would never say Captain America. That's tough. You know, I did a movie called London years back. That at the time I really connected to. At the time I was like, man, this guy is. I had the arguments that within the script. I had the exact same arguments. But he's a vile character. He's an awful human being. I don't want to say I relate to him, but there were just familiarities. I understood where he was coming from. I think I worked through the issues a bit more than the character did, but as far as all the scripts that I've read in my life where I was like, wow, God, this is hitting close to home, probably London, which I'm going to regret saying. Who have you not worked with yet that you would like to? Oh, man. For me, it's more about directors. You know, you can work with great actors, but if you don't have a good director, you don't have much. You need a good director if you want a good movie. For me, I like David Fincher. I like Wes Anderson. I like P.T. Anderson. James Cameron. Michel Gondry. Yeah, I think that's it. That's good. Who's your favorite Avenger besides Captain America? Mine's Iron Man because, duh, Robert Downey Jr. I'm going to have to agree with you. Robert Downey Jr. is not only an incredibly cool superhero as Iron Man, but he himself is just a really special person. You know what I mean? He's just one of these guys that's he's been through so much and he's so experienced. He just knows so much. The guy's been through everything, and he's come out on top as just one of the biggest forces of nature on the planet, and deservingly so. He's a really amazing person. ORDJ. What was the best part of filming Captain America: The Winter Soldier? I'll say reconnecting with a lot of people. There were so many people that I knew. You know, it was like it's like when we were in high school, you come back, or in any elementary school, middle school, you break for summer, and then coming back in the fall was so exciting to see everybody again. And we had Sam and Scarlett, obviously from the Avengers. Scarlett, who this is like my 90th movie with. She's like my sister at this point. But Sebastian Stan, who we did the first Cap with, who's just like the sweetest kid on the planet. And Mackey's my dude. I've done a couple movies with Mackey now. This is my third with him. I just felt like, man, these are all just my old buddies that I get to go play with. A lot of fun. Next. Do you ever catch yourself acting like Steve Rogers when you're not working? I would be so lucky. You know, that's the goal. That's what you strive to do. I think you know, I don't necessarily know what Steve Rogers' religious affiliation would be or political stance, but I think the cornerstone of his being is selflessness. I think he just tries to put himself last. And that extends to all facets, even just in a debate, in a discussion. I think he's going to try and listen to the other person before he tries to get his own point across. If I ever see shadows of Steve, I'm doing something right. Did anyone influence you to get into acting? My older sister. Yeah. When I was younger, you know, I didn't do my first play until I was 6th grade, 7th grade, and it was just my older sister was doing it. She was having a ball, and you know, we'd go see her after her plays, and my parents would give her candy, and I was like, well, I want candy. Great. She does plays. Everyone's having a good time. They're going out to Friendly's afterwards. I don't know if you know Friendly's. Friendly's is the East Coast ice cream chain. It's great. But she's getting friendly. She's getting candy. She's staying out on school nights. I was like, this looks great. And so I went and did a couple plays with her at the place that she did theater, and I was hooked. That's all carved. My dad's from Reading, and Mass is such a unique place in the world. How did growing up in Sudbury shape you? a very normal place. I don't know how to. It's very typical. You know what I mean? It's very. It's a suburb of Boston. I loved my childhood. I absolutely loved it. Wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I don't know. I mean, I went to public school. I couldn't have had a more standard status quo, just like this boilerplate upbringing. I feel like my parents probably shaped me more than anything else. The environment was great, and it didn't do anything, it didn't damage me. But I think the real shaping comes at home. So that sounds cheesy. What sports do you enjoy doing? Well, I grew up playing lacrosse, but lacrosse is a tough one to kind of find a pickup game. You know, lacrosse requires pads and helmets, and when I first came to LA, I was like, I'll join a lacrosse league. There's a bunch of pickup lacrosse leagues. And I saw this one league practicing, and it's all kids who like played D1 lacrosse at Duke, reliving the glory days. These kids were phenomenal. I was like, I can't play. I play a lot of pickup basketball, and I play a lot of soccer tennis. I don't know if you know what soccer tennis is, but you need to. It's on a tennis court with a soccer ball, with the concept of volleyball. So it's, one-on-one, and you can only use your feet, and the ball goes over, and you're allowed one bounce, and then you got to kick it back over. So it's, I don't know. That was a horrible explanation, but it's a fantastic game. If you could star in, direct, be involved with a remake of a favorite movie from your childhood, what would that movie be, and how would you most like to be involved? This is a good question, because I've been saying it for years. I think I usually have issues with remakes. I think if you did it right, let it alone. Don't. I feel like remakes very rarely top their predecessors, but I really think a West Side Story remake would be great, and not like a modern version of it, not like some cool hip version where it's like L.A. street gangs or something, but just an absolute remake of like the Natalie Wood version, and I would want to be with. This is so ridiculous. Musical theater all over the place. Oh man, learn a lot about myself. So there it is. West Side Story. I want to be Rick. What's next? Which character can you relate to more, Steve Rogers or Johnny Storm? Isn't this going to be telling? Which character can you relate to more, Steve Rogers or Johnny Storm? You know what? It's really applicable to the chapters of my life. When I played Johnny Storm, it was Johnny Storm. That's what I felt like. Man, this is seamless. Now that I'm playing Steve Rogers, I'm feeling a little more like Steve Rogers. I think that comes with age. So these days I'll say more Steve Rogers, which is a bold thing to say, but all right. Top 3 movies you would recommend anyone watch and why? All right, let's do this. First one, and I get a lot of heat for this. Legends of the Fall. And a lot of people think, it's like a girl movie or something. No, it's not. Go watch it again. It is a beautiful, sweeping epic about brothers and honor and war and responsibility. It's just a fantastic movie, and I love those big, sweeping epics, and I love Ed Zwick, and that movie's phenomenal. I really liked I Heart Huckleberries, and I feel like a lot of people didn't. It's a little bit of a confusing film, but I think it's really brilliant. It's so intelligent. It's so well done. There's a documentary called What the Bleep Do We Know, and it's all about your chemical makeup and how you can manifest your own day. And I almost feel like I Heart Huckabees is the fiction version of that film. I love I Heart Huckabees. I think it's about Buddhism. I really do think it's and what else? Top 3. What else? What would I recommend anyone watch and why? What's another good one? All right. This is tough because once you pass those 2, it's open for like a 5-way tie. I'll say Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I like the message. I love the filmmaking, and the actors are phenomenal. It's one of those ones that's constantly entertaining. And Groundhog Day. Let's just throw Groundhog Day in there because who doesn't love Groundhog Day? Okay, let's. Hi, Chris. I hear you're a big ice cream fan. So what's your favorite flavor? Cookies and cream. Hands down. That's an easy one. What's next? What songs are on your current playlist? Songs on my current playlist. I always have a healthy stash of Alice in Chains going on. I grew up in the 90s, so I like, 90s rock. I like Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains and Nirvana. Ooh, I shouldn't swear. I like Alice in Chains. I really like Led Zeppelin. What else? I'm really into Van Morrison and Paul Simon. What else? Was that a wig in Iceman, or were you having a really bad hair day? Yeah, that was a wig. That was a wig. God, I've always wanted to grow my hair long. I just don't have the patience for it. Because you have that in-between phase of when you look awful. If you get if I tacked on maybe 4 more inches right now to my hair, I would look ridiculous. You need to get long enough to be able to, I don't know, do something with it. But my hair also grows stick straight, so I imagine if I did take the time to grow it out, I'd still look pretty terrible. That's why I like shaving my head. What else? What are you looking for as inspiration when you direct 1:30 Train? I'm so excited for it. Thank you. Me too. For inspiration, I think there's a movie called Before Sunrise. Richard Linklater with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, and it's conversation. It's just 2 people talking for the entire night, and I love that. I love a lot of screenplays that you read. It's rare to get a scene that lasts more than 3 pages. Films move and they change locations and environments. And theater, you could read a play where one scene is 30 pages. It's just 2 people in a room. So I like things that just have a lifelike feel to it. So as far as the connection of 2 people and how that can sustain an entire movie, I'll say Before Sunrise. As far as the way that I want to shoot it, I like the way movies are being filmed today. Things like Blue Valentine, like Crazy, Wrestler. I like movies that have a handheld feel. Beast of the Southern Wild. I like movies that feel kind of voyeuristic and almost like documentary style. And if you can blend the soul of Before Sunrise with the look of those modern films, I think you could have something really interesting and really fun to play with as an actor, because you really get to turn everything down and find something genuine as opposed to these big movies where everything is beautiful and sweeping. What was the funnest movie you played in? Funnest? I'll forget. What was the funniest movie you played in? That's a tough call. I think earlier I said Fantastic Four. I don't remember how that question was phrased. Fantastic Four was great. Scott Pilgrim was great. Scott Pilgrim it's a shame I only worked 2 weeks, but that was one of those movies you showed up and it was all young people and everyone kind of knew everyone, and that was one of those movies I didn't want to leave. Edgar Wright is just phenomenal. I really like The Losers, too. Columbus Short and Zoe and I had a ball there. Oh, everyone was great. What else was really fun? Another teen movie was really fun, but that was, early days, and I could have been in anything and I would have had a blast. I was so ecstatic to be on a movie set. That was a good time. Tom Hiddleston can do a really good impression of you. Can you do one of him, and will you be in London anytime soon? I can, but I'm not going to, because I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Yeah, Tom likes doing impersonations. He really does. I don't know if I'll be in London anytime soon. I think we're going to be in London for Avengers 2. I think well, I heard we're going to be all over the place. I heard London, someone said Africa, someone said Asia. I've heard a lot of places, but we'll definitely be in London. What's next? Is there a movie coming out this year that you're excited to see? Yeah, let me think. What am I excited to see? I haven't seen The Way Back yet. Everyone keeps telling me that's phenomenal, but I just love Sam Rockwell. What else am I excited to see? No, I don't think. I can't think of stuff. Ooh, I'm excited to see The World's End. I love Edgar Wright, and that guy can do no wrong in my eyes. I'm actually going to go see it tonight. Hida, what's it like being a part of something so big like the Avengers? Intimidating. A little overwhelming, but very, you're overwhelmed with gratitude. Because it's, when you're making it, you don't really know it's going to be that big. And even when it comes out, this is the tricky part about this business. Like you forget what's really happening. It's just it's like work. You know what I mean? Like everything's just, I don't know how to explain it. I try to think about what I would have thought when I was 18 before I started this career. And I think it would have been radically different. But over time, the more movies you make and the more you just get used to the routine of movies coming out, and then, you press and move on and try to get another job, and it all becomes just a piece in this puzzle of work, and you kind of like, not disillusioned, I don't want to say disillusioned, because it's still very amazing, still endlessly grateful, maybe a little just desensitized. It just is kind of like, yeah, great, that did well, good job, great, like, you're still grateful, but you're not just sitting there like, wow, look at this. Look what I was a part of. It doesn't always feel that way, which is a shame, because it should. And I think that's part of what I try to remind myself of. Not that I was a part of something amazing, but just to be appreciative and grateful, because I think, gratitude is the key to happiness. If you have a healthy understanding of gratitude, you can't lose. What has been your most challenging role to adopt thus far? Most challenging. I'll say Lost of a Teardrop Diamond, the movie I did with Bryce Howard. Tricky role, tricky subject matter, a lot of layers to it, accent. There was just a lot going on. It's Tennessee Williams, so you really want to do the material justice, and Bryce is so phenomenal. It was the movie I think I spent the most time on, probably had the most anxiety on. Just really challenged me the most. What else? What are your favorite TV shows? Would you ever consider doing a TV show? Absolutely would I consider doing TV. I feel like TV is kind of where the best stuff is right now. You know what I mean? Like it's so sad to say, but how often do you go to the movies and walk out a little disappointed? You're like, man, that's it. But you can click on an episode of Breaking Bad and be wildly entertained. There's some really good stuff going on cable right now. One of my favorite shows, to be completely honest, I don't get sucked into shows. I've seen 2 episodes of Homeland, 3 episodes of Breaking Bad. I've only seen a couple episodes of Sopranos, They're all phenomenal, but I don't know if I have. I watch what do I watch? I watch National Geographic. I watch the History Channel. I like information. Favorite Disney movie? That's like asking who's your favorite child. Well, let's get into this one. What's my favorite Disney movie? God, I'll say, man, maybe Fox and the Hound. That's a good one. Robin Hood's up there. Yeah, I don't know. We watched them all so much as kids because there's just special, pockets of connection for each one. The Pan's great. It's a tough one. I'll go with Fox and the Hound. Where's your favorite place to get pizza when you're back home in Boston? Leone's. Is this guy from Leone's? This guy's like from Leone's. He's asking me this question. There's a place in Somerville that makes those real good, like big square, deep dish pizzas. Wicked. Next one. What was your best subject at school? Science. Science, math, history, English. English. I couldn't stay interested. I don't know. But I loved science. Earth science was the most. Earth science, biology, chemistry, not so much. Physics was tough too, but interesting and useful. Are you an early bird or a night owl? Night owl. Night owl. Although, God, this happens with age. I don't sleep as much. I just kind of like, even if I'm exhausted, my eyes just open. I'm awake. But I still, I can't go to bed before midnight. What's your most embarrassing moment making a movie? Oh, man. Well, I had a banana in my butt in Not Another Teen Movie. That was a low point. I think that's safe to say it's got to be the most embarrassing moment. And the thing about that, when you make a movie, if there's going to be nudity in a scene, it's supposed to be a closed set. And if the girl is the one getting naked, everyone is just, get out of here, no one can be here, strip the set down, no one look, there's robes and there's, concern. If a guy is the one getting naked, it's like a big joke, and everyone's kind of peeking and laughing and joking. So I had to walk around on that set with a foam banana wedged in my cheeks. It's embarrassing. Next question. Do you like Fellini or Pasolini's movies? I know of Fellini movies. I'm so sorry. That could really be embarrassing reveal, but hey, that's what this is for. Honesty. What's your favorite movie? You did this, Dave Franco. Will you miss the Kat-Peggy relationship? Of course. Namely because of Haley Atwell. She's phenomenal. She's just an amazing, amazing actress, an amazing human being. Sharing the screen with her is just blessed. What else? I think we did this one too. If you'd not become an actor, what else would you have done? I think we did this. I think it was not an actor I would have directed, if not in this industry, probably something in the world of animation, art. What's number one on your bucket list? I really want to go to Alaska. I've never been, and some people find the tropics beautiful, and for me, aesthetically, the thing that I find most gorgeous is kind of that Alaska mountain, rivers, and trees, and feels very North American to me. To me, it's just gorgeous, gorgeous place. I feel like the air is just cleaner in Alaska. Are you still nervous when going up for auditions? If yes, how do you get over the nerves and perform the best you can? Yep. Still nervous in auditions. Still nervous in a lot of facets. It's a little bit easier now because, you know, with age you kind of are able to recognize that this isn't everything. This isn't the end of the world. I think when you're young, it's just you put so much importance on everything. I think as you get older, you start to realize, it's okay, you're gonna be fine. This is not going to somehow stop you from being happy. That's the goal of life. I do think everyone's goal is to be happy. Messing up an audition or not getting a job or embarrassing yourself in a meeting, not the end of the world. All right, I just got the little wrap up thing. Let's do 2 more. We'll do 2 more. Will we do 2 more? 1 more, apparently. All right. Hi, Chris. Love your work. You are excellent in comedic roles. Will you do more in the future? Absolutely. I love doing comedies. They're so much fun. Like just the energy on set is very different than a drama. The energy on a comedy is like a comic book, right? It's just fun. And everyone's laughing. And, I don't know. It's like summer camp. So yeah, absolutely. But they're tricky. You want to make sure you do the right one because a lot of these comedies don't always get marketed the right way. And kind of, I don't know. Comedies are tricky now. You got to make sure you have a good director. But yes. All right, get the thumbs up. Thanks, guys. I'm glad everyone came through. Glad we did this. I'll do it again soon. Cheers.